Welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we're gonna work with images. So first thing, you're gonna want to go to the internet and download an image you loved, just for the sake of the tutorial, so you can actually practice on it. So after you basically downloaded your photo, you go to File, Open, and then you search your photo right here. Double click on it, and it should just pop up in a new window like that for you. So you have like these windows right here. You just click on that window and you're supposed to see the image. So basically I chose a new photo because the last one was a bit tiny and I didn't want it to pixel. So let's get right into it. As you can see right here, it says 50% to the left corner. It means like it zooms 50% of the image. If we go 100%, for example, it zooms inside the picture 100%. All right, and if you click Control minus one time, second time, third time, you can, and then you can just Control plus to zoom in. So Control minus to zoom out and Control in to zoom in. So we're gonna just keep it like that. So basically, let's say we want to duplicate something. So we're going to Control plus and zoom in pretty much to the thing we want to duplicate. Let's say I want to duplicate this let's say this fingernail right here, or whatever it is. I want to duplicate it. So we want to zoom in right into it, and then we have this scroll right here. So we're just scrolling right here, and we can just keep zooming in. That's it. So basically we want to choose it right now. So you go right here to the lasso tool right here, you click it, and we just want to start marking it. We're basically going to do a sloppy job right here, but you just try your best to just mark it. You know, you can control over it too much with your mouse, but just do your best to mark it as much as you can. Oops, there we go. Got it. And then we connected both of them, and then you can see it connected between the lasso, and you can see these like little lines right here. It means like you chose the part inside the border. Now that we've done that, we can zoom back out to look at the full image, and you can see the fingernail right here, or whatever it is marked. We marked it. Now before we duplicate it, let's do the same thing with that background. You hit this lock right here and you unlock it, because you cannot work too much on the layer if you want to unlock the background. So make sure you do it with every background you get. As we said, we can double click the name and name it background as last time, so we know this is the background. Now the next thing we want to do is to make sure you're standing on that layer, and you want to do Control C and then Control V. All right, so once we've done that, you guys can see we have two layers right here. One layer is the fingernail by herself that we just pulled out, and one layer is the background. Now we can hide layers by clicking this eyeball right here. If you click the background eyeball, you will see that layer right here. Basically, the opacity is down because I probably click on it not on purpose. Anyways, we have this fingernail that we marked just right now from the wall background. You can return it back by clicking the eyeball again, and then we have the background again. Now, if you want, you can just put the background above, but we want to keep it under. Now we have this fingernail that we just pulled out right here. It's a duplicate of this thing right here. Now you guys just got the fingernail right here, and you can just basically play with the project. So let's say we want to duplicate it and do something cool with it in the project. So you can do like you got like two fingernails over here, so you can just space it right here and make it look like you have two. Anyway, you can just pull it out if you want. So once we choose the spot where we want the fingernail to be, we just click Enter or OK, and we keep going. Now remember the effects lesson, guys, that I taught you. We can add some effects to the fingernail. So we go Effects, And we can add some effects. We can add drop shadow to the fingernail. Now you can see it's a bit with a drop shadow. You can get it down a little bit, and this one can put it on like 40, even a little bit under. Now it looks pretty cool. We can add auto glow right here. We can actually put it like red because I don't know, it looks pretty cool. It blends cool with the image. You can even put like on a bit lighter red. Now we can put it on 40. And the spread we're gonna take it a bit down. The opacity we're gonna put it on 100 because it looks pretty cool. It's like glowing. It's like a neon thing, which blends really cool with the picture. You can put it a bit down, but it blends really cool with the picture, so it looks really cool. So we're done with the effects. Now we're gonna do is we're gonna add an adjustment layer. So we're gonna mess around with the exposure and all of these stuff. I'm gonna show you that right now. So the way we're gonna do this is gonna go to layer, and then we're gonna go to new adjustment layer. The first thing we want to do is brightness and contrast, sorry. So we're gonna add this one. You can just name it like this. Now basically you have the adjustment layer here. Now the adjustment layer is basically an editing layer. It's not a solid layer that you can actually see. It's like an editing visuals layer. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take up the contrast a little bit. You see it getting a bit darker, which looks pretty cool, but we don't want to do it too much. And if you take down the contrast, it takes it a little bit lighter. So we want to put it above a little bit, so it gives like a cool shadow effect. Let's put it on 40. It will look good on 40. And the brightness we can take up too, because it blends really good with the contrast. We'll put it on 32, which looks really good. You can play with it and do whatever you want. You can do tons of stuff with it. Too much brightness don't look very good in my opinion, but if you put it a little bit brightness with a little bit of contrast, so it can look really dope. So if you want to know how it looked before the adjustment layer and after the adjustment layer, we just go to this eyeball and you just click on it. So you see it's a bit darker, but if you click on the adjustment layer, we gave it a little bit more lightning in the middle and a bit darker outside, so it gives this cool effect for the image. So we're gonna have another adjustment layer. We're gonna go to layer, new adjustment layer, and we're gonna go to levels. Click OK again. So in levels, there's like actually a lot of presets. You can mess around with it over here, but we're actually gonna choose a preset. So we can choose from the presents. So this is like basically an easy way to make your project, to give it like a cool change from the side angle. So let's say you want it darker, boom, you got it darker. You want it to increase contrast. It doesn't do that much, but it did increase the contrast. You want to, you got tons of ways. Actually, this one looks pretty good, but we need a bit more lightning, so I'm not gonna use this one. Light and shadows. This one is really light. It actually just disappeared all the shadows we put, so we don't want that one. We got midtones brighter and midtone darker. So I'm gonna go with the midtone brighter because I think it looks really good and blends good with the image. It just gives it more sharpness in the very hot color spots. It looks pretty good. I like it. You guys can just play around with it and just make your image look really dope with it. Now let's say we want another fingernail like this one, exactly right over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the layer of the fingernail, which is this one. You see, if I disappear, the fingernail will disappear. You click on it and then click Ctrl J, which actually creates a copy. Let's name it fingernail. And this one, let's name it fingernail 2. So we know it's actually the copy. We just click on the first one, and we have a duplicate right now. We can just take it, we can Ctrl T and then just adjust it. As we said, we can just rotate it and we can put it right over here if you want, and then you have like 4 fingernails, which can look pretty good. If you do want, you can just take the lasso tool and actually get this fingernail from here and just copy it over here, so it won't look the same one over here, so it'll look like this one and you can just duplicate it over here. But I don't find it necessary because I already teach you guys how to do it, so you can do it by yourself and just try many ways to duplicate whatever you want with the lasso tool. You can just mark it from the around and just can Control C and then Control V and then just duplicate the layer. And now, since it's a bit dark, we want it to be dark, but we don't want it to be too much dark. So we go to the layer and we go to the new adjustment layer and we add another adjustment layer which is called exposure, which gives it a little bit more lightening. You can get a bit more exposure. You see, okay, that hurt my eyes, but you can give it more exposure. Like if you take it up, the lightning just goes up, and if you take it down, that's what happens. So we're gonna take it a bit down, a bit up. We don't want all the darkness to disappear, but we do want a little bit of lightning, so we're gonna put it like, let's say 17, and then we can play with the offset. With the offset, I don't want to play too much because it just don't look really good with the offset, so we're gonna put it on 0. And the gamma correction a little bit just darkness. It just like the hot colors, it just pops them really out, so it can look really good if we do it at the right way. So I'm actually gonna get it a little bit. I'm gonna put it on 87. It actually pops all the red colors, as you can see, and it looks really good, so I'm gonna keep it like that. Now, another adjustment layer I really want to work with, it's probably not gonna be necessary in this specific type of image, but it will be very necessary. I found it very helpful with lots of other projects I did. So you go to new adjustment layer and then you go to hue saturation, click on it, click OK. And then you see right here, you get the hue stuff. You don't want to mess around too much with the saturation and the lightness. You want to, you can just play with the colors. So now, every color just change to its opposite one. Let's say we take it to the left a little bit. All the colors are changing. You can see it just looks amazing in some kinds of photos. It can look really cool in this one too, but we don't want to change it too much. So we can go to the right side also. And this one, actually this one looks really dope when you put it like on the orange one. This one looks cool too. I really like this one, so I'm going to keep it as this one. So as you guys can see, it keeps the colors really sharp and it doesn't really lose too much of the image, and it just keeps it really cool and clean, so I like it. That's why the hue saturation looks really good, so you can actually play with it. If actually I can put the orange one, which actually can look much better than the original one. That's why I say you can use this tool for so many purposes. I'm actually going to stay with the orange. It looks really cool. It really pops out the color and I really like it, so we're going to stay with it. So yeah, this is basically all the adjustment layers, and we just edited a photo, guys. We had a hue saturation, we added an exposure, levels, brightness, and contrast. We duplicated the fingernails twice, and we actually changed a little bit the colors of the background. So that was pretty cool. If you guys learned something new, let me know about it. Let's move to the next lesson. There we're gonna learn to work with some text, which is really important if you wanna make a bunch of stuff with text, so you can actually say something to everyone that watching it. So we're gonna move to the next lesson and we're gonna learn about text. See you there.